Kevin, he came to me and he said, I think it was really early in the morning, and he was kind of sighing, and I said, what's wrong? And he said, well, I gotta tell you something. And immediately I started thinking, okay, this is something important. It's not just the everyday, hey, let's try this, let's do this. And he said, I'm thinking about running for governor. And it was so much of a shock at first, because my mind in those few seconds had been racing, like, what's gonna come at me? But that was not any of the things that I thought could be happening. So it took me, I would say, a little while to kind of think through that. It took a while for my heart to kind of catch up to where my mind knew I needed to be. But I knew if Kevin was coming to the point to tell me this, I knew how much thinking and wrestling he had done with this. Just because knowing Kevin and how hard he's worked, how much he loves our family and elevates that, and spending time with the kids, and how hard he had worked to build Gateway, I knew if he was thinking of laying Gateway down, that this was a very big decision. So we, committed to spend quite a bit of time the next couple of months really thinking and praying about it and looking at it, the race. But ultimately, I realized that he felt so strongly about this, I wasn't going to be the person that stood in his way. And immediately when he said it, I thought, oh my goodness, he's going to win, because I know how he works so hard on things, and how when he really feels strongly about something, he applies himself. And I thought, well, our life's changing.
As I traveled and visited our other states and visited our offices, I just saw a lot of momentum and positivity and growth coming out of other states. And I would get so frustrated when I came to my state and realized we haven't grown like these other states. So I really started feeling the tug that I was supposed to step up and run for governor, and started looking at the race, and I saw who was going to run, and I didn't think anything was going to change if we kept electing the same people. But at the same sense, I knew how hard it was going to be, what hard work it was going to be, how much sacrifice. And so when you know you're about to run a race or run a marathon, you start realizing that, everybody kind of talks about they're going to go win the race at the beginning of the starting line. But then as soon as the gun goes off and they start running, people end up quitting. But I never quit. And so I knew what a journey it was going to be. And so that was what I was struggling with, is should I put my family through it? Should I lay my company aside? And so really, as I was analyzing it, because I knew the effort it was going to take to win, and I knew once I got started, it was going to be 15-hour days. I had to learn a whole nother set of skills, and so it was kind of scary. It was overwhelming. So I just looked at these other states that I felt like their education system was better than us, and their incarceration system was better, and their roads and bridges and their growth was better. And I told the guys that I was consulting with, I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to leave my company, move my family to Oklahoma City, unless I can really turn my state around. Mm-hmm. And so the more and more I've gotten into it, I'm more and more confident that this is not rocket science. This is about leadership and putting a plan together, and then going and getting the legislature to all work together. And we know what the solutions are. This is just going to take somebody from outside the political world to come take a fresh set of eyes on the problems and fix them. And so, I'm not doing this for anything but to make Oklahoma a top 10 state. We're planning on moving to Oklahoma City. My daughter's a senior this year, and so if we're fortunate enough to win, or when we win, we're going to let her finish the school year in Tulsa, and I'll be commuting back and forth, but the family will stay there until the school year's out, and then we'll move the whole family to Oklahoma City.
Well, as a mother, those were probably some of my first thoughts, because how children, they don't like change, and we work so hard to provide a stable, encouraging environment for our children. That's, my main goal. So that was the first thing that I really had to wrestle with, is realizing that what I thought our life was going to look like was changing. And our kids, we have a couple of kids that are resistant to change, and so they struggled initially, but everybody's excited now. They've gotten caught up in the momentum, and more than anything, they see that Kevin is doing this because he wants to make a difference. And that's what we teach our kids, is your life needs to matter. You need to make your life matter in the long run. You don't want to look back when you're 80 years old and go, why didn't I, make a less selfish choice, or why didn't I think that this was going to matter? So they see him walking it out, and of course there's going to be people don't want to leave their friends, and they wanted to have 8th grade with the friends they've grown up with, but it's part of life, and they'll make new friends, and we still have our close friends, but it'll be an adventure. I look at my life, and my life is nothing short of a miracle, because the way that I grew up, this did not look like this would be the way I would turn out. And so I look at people that have less than ideal home lives, children, women, men, everywhere, and things like addiction and mental health and lack of opportunity. Those are the things that really affect me and that move my heart, because I lived it. And my life is a miracle that I have a family. I don't need anything. I have, a stable marriage, a wonderful environment, a wonderful community, and I want that for other people. But you don't know what you don't know. And so I did not know as a small child that there were other lifestyles, there were other things that, families didn't operate like my family. And then as I grew older and began to walk through these difficult issues in my family and navigate that, I realized that people need a light. They need hope. They need someone to help them, because you don't know until you've walked through something. And some people are so fortunate to have a church community or a family that can come around them. I didn't have that. And so I want to make a difference for the future of Oklahoma. And I think you mentioned prisons and incarceration. So many of these things like addiction and mental health play into our high incarceration rates. And then you have foster care, and you have these families broken up, all these different things that I think that's where I see me being able to make a difference. And I think a big part of why I'm excited is because I can help bring hope and maybe direction to people that are in the dark, trying to figure it out for themselves, trying to help a family member or a child. And so I want to make several of these social issues in Oklahoma, bring them to the forefront and try to make a difference so future generations don't have this, this big issue.
I was in the mortgage business before, so I've done that for 2 years, kind of learned it from the sales perspective, and I've always been entrepreneurial, so it was just natural once I learned that industry that was what I was going to go into. And so, was able to start the company and grow it, and, be very disciplined and fiscally responsible, and always thinking about what's at the next level and what's the next level. And so we've just been very, very fortunate. I've got a great team in place, and we've lived the American dream now. It's just been unbelievable to look back and see the growth and what our company's been able to accomplish. We've got a saying at my company that it's about strengthening families. And so you're right, it's not about the money. I mean, the money doesn't do anything for me. And really it's about working with my friends and providing opportunity for people. And life is too short to work with people that you don't like and not to be accomplishing goals. And so I'm just a goal-oriented person. I love to accomplish goals. I tell our team, it'd be miserable for us to wish we were on another team or working for another company, or I should have got into another industry. And I know people sometimes think the grass is always greener, but I challenge our team that let's make our company the Super Bowl champions. Let's not wish we worked over for this company or this company. We've got a great opportunity to make our company a championship company. And I would say the same thing to our state. We've got everything we need to be a top 10 state and to compete against Texas or Florida or Indiana or Tennessee. Let's not wish we were somewhere else. Let's make our state the best state it can be. So I stepped off as the CEO in August 1st, and we promoted one of our guys to CEO, and then I'm just on the board now, and then the Attorney General will give me an opinion of how to officially remove myself. So my focus is 100% on growing Oklahoma, and I think that's what our forefathers wanted. They wanted somebody to temporarily leave their farmer business and go serve their state. That's my idea of how they should work. I plan on coming back to the private sector, but I'm all in as governor to turn my state around.
To me, it's about not being self-serving, and we all get in our own little world. It's easy for me to only think I'm going to care about my family and my kids, and that's my future, but stretching yourself to look beyond that, to see where you can make a difference. And we both really feel like there is no way 10 years ago, Kevin or I even thought that this was on our future and in our path. But we both feel like this is a calling, like we really want to make a difference. And I think that we are going to make a difference in Oklahoma, and we're going to help people rally as Oklahomans to move their lives forward individually, professionally, education-wise, everything. So I'm excited about it, but it's very humbling to hear people say that.
Yeah.
And
you know, and when I was kind of contemplating to do this, one of the things one of my friends said is, you know, you can stay in the corner office at the company you've built and keep, you know, cruising through life, or you can step out and take on this challenge. And win or lose, Kevin 2.0, after going through this experience, is going to be an amazing challenge and growth opportunity for me. And so it's so true. So we've been blessed so much by meeting everybody across all 77 counties and learning. You know, win or lose, it's been a great experience, and we need more people, you know, taking up that flag and saying, I want to serve my state. This is public service for a reason. Mm-hmm. And so I'm honored to do that. And if I'm fortunate enough to win governor, it's going to be awesome.